speaker is Professor C.S. Sreenivas Murthy, Director from Central Agriculture University, Manipur. Kindly give a big round of applause to Mr. Sreenivas Murthy.
Good afternoon to all of you, respected dignitaries on the dais and delegates and other distinguished professors from different parts of the country. I am here before you to share some of my views on ICT in higher education. No doubt ICT has revolutionized in the field of education also. The major thing is ICT has helped the administrators more than the teachers or the students. That's what I feel sometimes. It has made the administrator's job much easy. They can, just few minutes back you could see how the voluminous information can be stored and it can be retrieved. Students can access to that. Administrators can have eGovernance, so many things. My concern here is, can we use the same ICT for imparting higher learning? Higher education is the main topic of concern for us. And to what extent we are utilizing the ICT in higher education? So all of us know the definition of the term education. I need not have to tell again. It should bring in overall transformation. Have we achieved that? This question often comes to me. Maybe many of you will also have that question. We are producing graduates. Are they educated? Maybe they may be literates, but may not be educated the way we want them in this society. And we have different types of education which were being followed by our ancestors, by the great teachers of those days in the Mahabharata like Dronacharya or even earlier. So we have the formal education which is being at present we are following. Then the informal education which was being followed earlier, and also the non-formal education. And the thing is, which one is the best? Should we go for a marriage of all the three or only the formal education? With this student strength and the population, it's a bit difficult to go for non-formal education or informal education. Formal education is a must, but how best we can make use of the ICT is also important. Now coming to formal education, all of us are practicing it. I was in the Agricultural University at GKVK Bangalore for nearly 33 years as a teacher, taking regular classes throughout every trimester or later semester. And I have seen the plus and minus points of the system, everything. So here the syllabus is prescribed by a gallery of experts. Education is, then it will be scrutinized, then it will be given to the teachers. The teachers in turn will prepare the notes, will prepare for the class, and then go teach the students. Even we are supposed to monitor the teachers. Are they doing their job properly? Even we also are having the habit of cross-checking whether students are attending the classes or not. And the thing is, the interest should come from within, from the students themselves and the teachers. We can only take the horse to water and not make it drink. So we should create a situation where the students should get that interest to learn, and the teachers should have that enthusiasm to teach them, to educate them. So usually we go for the people in large number, they will be admitted and they will be given the syllabus. The teachers will teach as per the syllabus. Then as per the directions, the learners are expected to come to the school on time. All these things we know. Then we expect them to learn what all we teach. Then at the end of the year, we conduct the examination, and then finally we give them a certificate after 3 years or 4 years or whatever. But are we are we achieving the expected transformation in them? This is one thing which we have to ponder over. The people learning while they go about their daily lives, this is in informal education, this will happen. A classical example is the young children learn language by hearing to others, or even by trying to speak to themselves. And in informal education, we can also see others, our surroundings, and try to learn many things. How to dress up, or how to make a phone call, how to ride a bicycle, many of these. So the nature itself will teach us many things. And if teachers support them, then the things go much better. So teacher education is also informal when people find information or gain skills on their own initiative without a teacher. All of you must have heard about the great student Ekalavya, who learned the art of that archery without the guru. Of course, he had an idol of Dronacharya. But with lot of practice, he was able to do it. Then we have the non-formal education again. It is in between formal and non-informal education. And here again, we find people who are a bit aged who would be adopting the non-formal education. It is non-formal education. The procedures are less tightly controlled compared to formal education. We have different types of education. I will not go into the details. The general education system which we are having at present, the vocational education system, then the special education which is provided for some of the people like handicapped or gifted people, or like blind, deaf, some of those, or even mentally challenged people. And then the adult education which all of us have talked about. Then the higher education. In higher education, in India, we have more than 6,000 colleges and several hundreds of universities imparting knowledge, imparting education. My question is, are we imparting the correct education to them? About 4 out of every 100 people between the ages 18 and 23 attend such institutions, and they attain higher education. And coming to agricultural universities, being from agriculture side, I want to emphasize we have 73 agricultural universities spread across the country, and we are producing the agriculture graduates. In USA, when you look at, there are more than 3,000 institutions of higher learning. If you compare to the population in US, the number of educational institutions in India is much less for our population. Recently, in Times of India, this article had come. India ranked 24th in higher education. In terms of the ranking, USA stands first. Then comes UK, Germany, Australia, Canada. The first 5 rankings to those. And if you look at the others, the worst 5 countries, fortunately India is not there. We should be happy about ourselves. The lowest rank is bagged by Pakistan with 50, 49 Estonia, UAE, Egypt, Philippines. They have given the score also. 100 out of 100 was bagged only by US. And all the 5 countries, they have bagged score above 90. So this has come in Times of India. Anyone can have that newspaper clipping also. The story of Ekalavya should have come earlier. Then learning and teaching. How people learn. No complete agreement among the educators. All of us differ in our own way of telling how to educate a student or how to teach a student, because each one of us will follow our own methods. Most modern theories of learning can be divided into 3 major groups. Behavior modification is one, or stimulus response theories, cognitive theories, or humanistic theories. I'll not go into these details. Then coming to methods of teaching, we have different methods of teaching, and each one can follow his or her own method of teaching. About a method to be used in a given occasion, in deciding about a method of teaching to be adopted, a teacher needs to consider what the learning goals the student are pursuing. So this is because not all learning goals can be reached by the same methods. Unfortunately, we are following the same methods of teaching for all. So it should vary depending on the depending on the goal which we have fixed. So the three common methods of teaching are rote learning, which all of us are familiar with. We will have done in our school days. Guide problem solving, and diagnostic teaching. Each method is suitable for achieving different goals. Not that this is the best. We can have all the three systems depending on the situation. It is not rote learning, it is rote learning. This means memorizing something by heart. This all of us will have done in our school days. I still remember during our primary school days, our headmasters used to tell, you should memorize the mathematical tables, 1 to 20 or 1 to 30, even up to 100. Because those days calculators were not there. But now we have the calculators, no need to do that. So like memorizing a poem, we by heart that. And we repeat that. The teacher will ask them, you repeat that, or you have to, I had asked you to by heart that, you reproduce it. We used to do all that. Can we do that in mathematics also? I have seen some students even by hearting the procedures in mathematics, the steps in mathematics. Chemical formula, many will by heart. Even the history, when a particular war was fought, we try to memorize. But that may not remain in our minds for long. Can we think of some new methods? Can we think of adopting ICT here to memorize, or some new methods of teaching, novel methods? Rote learning is suitable for taking in foreign language, vocabulary, or even dates of important events in a year, or in history, things like that. Can we think of some alternatives? At this stage, I remember one of my junior, maybe many of you will have heard of his name, Mr. Dundiraj Bhatt. He is a writer. Dundiraj is the pen name. He used to come out with some novel ideas for remembering things. Those who are from agricultural field or zoology or botany, they are supposed to remember the botanical names of plants, the families of insects, their properties, even the dairy cows, their names, properties, everything. He had his own methods of developing some formula by which one can remember everything. Here I have given one example, Musa balbusiana. It's a variety of banana plants, leaves, used for taking meals. So he used the word Musa balu bisi anna in Kannada. It's a very simple word. Balbusiana he modified into balu bisi anna. So like that he had even developed a formula. We used to call it as a mantra. It's similar to Amarkosha mantras for remembering the properties of all the breeds of cattle. Whether it is Hallikar breed or Amrit Mahal breed, everything can be remembered. Even the families of insects, Curculionidae or Diptera or whatever, he had the mantra which can be memorized, and we can reproduce everything. So like that, such methods can be thought of even here to remember these things, or even the chemical formula or things like that, so that we can. Another 3 minutes. So another is problem solving. This is being followed by mathematicians or even by physics or chemistry teachers. They give a problem, also tell them how to solve this. They give another problem similar to that, and subsequently they give another different problem which is not similar to that and ask them to solve. And then when the students do it, they try to find out whether he has done the right way or not, and then try to help him out and make him learn. Then diagnostic teaching is another method. Here again the problems are given, the students will be asked to do it, and then they try to find out where they have gone wrong or what is the correct method of learning or teaching. The salient features of higher education, we go for specialization. One of the classical definitions is it is studying more and more of less and less. And now we have what is called a super specialization, especially in the field of medical research or medicine and agricultural research, we have super specializations. Then what are the transformations in higher education which we have observed in our country? Pre-independence era we had the annual system of education where blackboard teaching was common. Only few universities were there to award the degrees and very few to award the postgraduate degrees. Then the post-independent era we had up to 1965 the annual system of education. Again the blackboard teaching was there. Many colleges were started. Many new subjects were introduced both under UG and PG. And PG program in agriculture also was started, and that way it started. From 1965 to 2000, again we had the annual system of education, then it was replaced by the semester system of education. In the agricultural universities we had what is called the trimester system of education. Blackboard teaching was there, epidoscopes were used to make the projections, slide projectors were used, and during our student days even calculators were unheard of. We were not using calculators because it was not available. Then the PG programs in several of the subjects were started, and even in the agricultural field many of these subjects we had the PG programs. And from 2000 onwards the era of ICT came into existence where we have the semester system and we have the blackboard teaching is still there. I'm happy that it is there. LCD is another. LCD projectors, smart boards have come in place. They are being used. But I feel still the blackboard is the best, though the LCD or even the smart boards help in making the job easy for the teacher. So we have the PG programs in most of the disciplines. ICT is being extensively used by both teachers and students in higher education nowadays. ICT is being used by teachers to get the latest information on a topic at his fingertip. Sitting with his laptop, he will get all the information. It has helped the students to access the information very quickly and use it in the learning process, but unfortunately, they download 4 or 5 research papers, give the seminar. They'll not bother to go to the library and read the textbooks. Unfortunately, some of these things have happened. ICT can be compared to a double-edged sword. Please don't mistake me. It has positive points, it has negative points. How best we can have the positive points, that is important for us. It has a lot of advantages, all of you are using it. The distinguished speaker spoke about it. We have quick access to information available in any part of the globe, can communicate with scientists across the globe, and have online clarifications, exchange of views, all these things are possible. Students can use the time saved for other productive purposes of learning. But some disadvantages are also there, may not help in enhancing their thinking power. This is very important, and this we should try to overcome. How best lies in our hands. Made both the teachers and students lazy to some extent. It is not helping in achieving the intended goal. Last, the conclusion. The best method of teaching in higher education is to avoid spoon feeding, which we are doing at present. Encourage students to sharpen their thinking power and learn by doing and practical learning methods. Thank you all.